Here we go, where I get to do my favorite thing in the day. Oh, I hate doing this. But here we are every day. It's like, remember when I first started this, my journey? Now it's just like, when's it gonna happen? When's humanity quit? I don't know. You guys tell me I see this and I want to puke my guts out. But you guys can relate. Not, it's sort of the same, but not really. That's my fellow countrymen coming together for hockey. Dancing around to Sweet Caroline. I wonder what that song's about. If we did an old investigation, what's the meanings behind things? You know what I mean? But hey, there's my countrymen coming together. But hey, we'll let a fucking tyrant run our country. We don't care. We won't unite. We'll separate and fight. But hockey can bring everybody together. It's amazing. It is amazing. Sports and our idols. You guys are just like the same thing with your foosball games and stuff. Not that I don't enjoy football and I don't enjoy hockey, but there's bigger things in the world to worry about for me, you know what I mean? Unless you guys can start proving me wrong, like, she's a whole shit show, like, I'm watching on here. Like, look at this shit. Every time I go to do something, there's a dog. There's a dog. I'm so tired of it.
Frequent heartburn attacks aren't almost as bad as heartburn.
Dogs.
But Nexium 24 hours stops stomach acid before it starts.
Hey everybody, look what I got. I got a laptop.
More burn, less burn.
I'm almost getting ready to rock and roll.
I'm just resting my eyes now. Lazy boy.
Long
live the lazy.
Video. That's a made-up term. That she just made it up. Sounds a lot like
You guys should go subscribe to him. He's pretty good.
fakes. And I believe she used the term deep fake somewhere else in this little press dialogue. We'll encounter that momentarily. But cheap fakes. Why would you make up a term that sounds like deep fakes? Is it so that you can convince people who aren't listening carefully and thinking for themselves that you could just easily convince them that it's deep fake? Cheap fake video. Because deep fake is a familiar term. Cheap fake is a made-up term. And these videos that are real, what if we just get people to think that they're fake?
That's exactly what they are. They are cheap fakes video. They are done in bad faith. And some of your news organization have been very clear, have stressed that these right-wing critics of the president.
Right-wing reality. When a video is...
Oh, like, come on, guys. Like, when do you guys wake up? Your press secretary, who's supposed to be there for the American people and telling them what's true, is saying that, well, these videos of making your president that makes me think that you're president are they're cheap fakes. It's not real. Then what's real? You know what I mean? Because every time you see him, he's a bumbling mistake. There's the odd time where you could kind of say maybe. Who knows? I mean, drugs, masks, different actors. Who knows what's going on? But I think you guys should be able to ask the questions like, what is going on? Like, I don't... What else did I have here? Yeah. Seeing old Johnny Dagburn. What I think about Anonymous, dude. I don't know, you honestly want to know? I've said it a million times. I think Matthew has been... He's in trouble. He messes with people just for his own amusement. Like, he plays Johnny Cashville like a fiddle. Like, he plays every. He knows when he's gonna get the. To this page. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know. I don't really know AD. But I do know that when you ask him point blank questions, he doesn't answer. Like, I know they're hard questions to answer, but if you answer reality, then maybe he could get better. He could stop living in the fantasy that he's in. No, no, not at all. Let that go to voicemail. Anyways, AD, I come straight with AD. Like, I respect anybody who fought for their country. I really do, honestly. Anybody who's willing to die for their country, I have the utmost respect for. But if he can't honestly answer my question, where I ask him point blank, hey bud, you said it. There were no weapons of mass destruction. Were the people killed that shouldn't have been killed? Were we fighting a war that shouldn't have been being fought? For what? To line the pockets of them? Like, to me, if that's true, it should be stopped. Not hoorah and your next guys. Like, do you see now that they're where was I? I was talking about how he was used and you don't come to terms with it. That's like triple T. Because that's the Christian thing to do. What I do is the Christian. I'm not Christian. I'm not. I'm a follower of Christ. I'm not. I see what Christianity does. I'm not into her. Confuses people. Like, do you know what it's like to think that you're a chosen one and you gotta say, I love the Bible. It tells us exactly how we're supposed to be, but I think there's a lot of nonsense in the middle to get us confused. Like, I don't think we're supposed to use Jesus died for our sins so we can be a complete idiot all we want. And I think that's what Johnny Dagburn believes. He can just be whoever he wants to be, and there's no repercussions for his actions. But hey, I might be wrong. I don't think so. I don't even know if there's a hell, but if there's a hell, two of those, the whole YouTube crew, I'm a little concerned about. Like little me, that guy, I understand why he looks good to people. He's very good to people. If you're part of his crew and you're willing to back his play, he's going to back your play. You know what I mean? But the Christian way to do things should be through the truth. You know what I mean? If your brother's doing wrong to your worst enemy, you should tell your brother, you shouldn't do that. And you should help your enemy if your brother has hurt them. On Danny's podcast. See, I think the information's out there on who Jesus was. And it's just not, there's not enough in the Bible. People don't pick up on it. People don't pick up on the little subtleties. You know what I mean? Like, he told that woman that grabbed his garment that he didn't do it. She did, because she believed in him. He tried telling people that they had the power. They had the power. They didn't have to be ran by the Pharisees or Rome. What was Jesus telling the Pharisees? What was he telling them? You guys are teaching nonsense. What you guys claim to be clean is not. Oh, I'll check it out. Anything that has to do with Christ, I'll check out. Like the Gospel of Thomas. That's an interesting read. But then you gotta ask yourself, why are all these books not in the Bible? Especially Enoch. When it's in the Ethiopian Bible, like Christians don't, like it doesn't register. It's like, that's the way it's supposed to be. Even though Jesus came here and he said, the devil rules this world momentarily. Like that came out of Jesus' mouth. Like the devil can't mess with the book. You don't think the devil would lie and say, hey. That's the thing, when you're going to change a story, you can't change it all the way, you know what I mean? Yeah, there's some weird stuff there, right? That's what I mean. I think all of this, like, they say the native stuff is all goofballish and no good, but I believe in it. You know that they say that they slept with aliens and stuff like that too. A little bit of that in the Bible too, but Christians can't pick up and correlate it together. And like, you mean to tell me, like I always got my, like, this is the thing. I say shit about the Bible, but she's always right here with me, you know what I mean? And I think it's the way it's supposed to be. And I think God did have his hand in it. And the devil doesn't know some of the things that it tells people. Know what I mean? We're supposed to be in Christ. No fear. 365 times. You know what I mean? For every day of the year. No fear. Be in Christ. Do the right thing. If you know somebody's being hurt, even if it is your best friend who's doing it, because sooner or later one day, if they can get a gain from you, maybe you're the person getting hurt. Get it? I don't know. I was watching yesterday. I was watching a TED Talk. I can't remember the guy's name, but he's talking about like people who go into psychosis and like have schizophrenia and bipolar, and like in even these tribes today, like all over the world, the shamans, they find these people and they teach them, and they're the healers and the next shamans and the seers and all that sort of stuff. I think that's what's happened to me, you know what I mean? It talks about the voices in their heads. They got to work out what the problems are. And that's the problem with today's society. There's no one there. There's no one there. If you tell somebody you got voices in your head, and even a doctor, and you'll say, hey, I have full faculties, I'm hearing some stuff. You know what they'll do? They'll try and hand out pills instead of helping them, guide them through what they're going through. Because it's probably a lot harder the way I had to do it. I had to get those voices out myself. And she was a hard road, you know what I mean? Especially with everybody fighting you at the same time. And then on top of it, you don't do yourself any favors because you're just marijuanaing yourself just to. But then again, I guess maybe it enhanced the spiritual awakening, maybe. I don't know. Everything's happened for a reason. Everything in our lives happens for a reason. Just when do we want to make it happen for a reason? And is it for the right reasons? Hey, Roger, do you believe that something's going to happen shortly? And then we have to make a change. Because it's hard convincing grown-ups. that if the WEF is real and all this other bullshit, I just take these 3-letter agents. Let's just say the FBI is dirty. Like 52 agents signed off on it. I think so. That's like, I'm so. Like, this is the thing about a spiritual awakening. They say it's all rainbows and butterflies. And she ain't. She ain't. Not if you're willing to face the dark side. Because that's the whole point of a spiritual awakening. You gotta take your light into the darkness. But then again, you don't have to go too far, because when the darkness sees your light, it comes running to try and extinguish it. You just gotta sit there, duck bag, and leave, and try and figure shit out. But it's the strength you build from them fighting you. You learn how to become a warrior of God no matter what. Who gives a shit what these people say? Do you know how hard it is to think that you're sane and fucking have to say you think you're the chosen one? That's fucking hard, dude. That's brave. That's what that is. Especially being a old white man. That's funny to me. See, that's the thing. I've learned not to see color. Ignorance comes in all flavors, man. It's like, it don't matter what color you are. You can be ignorant either way, or you can be good either way. Are there some that, if they're willing to suffer, can get through it? That's what I've learned. It's all about the suffering. Are you willing to better yourself? Like, oh, I was going on. But can you imagine if AD, Johnny Dagburn, Carl Martin, Wade, all these people, Kurt, were to find out that there was a God and that there are chosen people on this earth and that they're not doing good in life? I feel bad for them. Does that be hard? Like, look at, like, AD used to tell me I have demons. And I used to ask him, hey, AD, where are my demons? What demons do you see? Is it the fact that I want to see a future? Like, is that my demons? Or is it because I say I'm chosen by God and for some reason that upsets you? Like, everybody says they're waiting for a sign from God, but nobody wants to hear my story. That's the fucking funny part. Like, I think I explain God. I think I explain him like an intense fucking spiritual awakening. And where you can actually open your eyes and you can see who people are. Sometimes you get fooled, but it's only because we have good hearts. We want to believe everybody. That's the problem. When you're an empath, you want to believe people. But then there's just a certain, like, where it's just like, this makes me sick to my stomach. Like, when you see Harlow Blonde for who she is, she's a hurting unit, that girl, man. She hurts inside big time. Hey, what's up, Nikki69? That's what I've been saying the whole time, Roger. We're all chosen by God. We just need to choose it for ourselves. But this is where it's hard. We have to realize who we are, you know what I mean? We have to know that we're not perfect. We're going to make mistakes. But they're not really mistakes, dude. They're learning lessons. In my opinion, if you aren't hurting anybody or intentionally trying to hurt anybody, but sometimes if you're hurting somebody's feelings, that might be because you're doing something they don't want you to do. They don't want to see you rise above them, you know what I mean? It's hard telling these guys I think they're fucking idiots and stuff like that. It is. But it's true. Their ignorance is way beyond me. I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well too. I know, I feel sorry for her. Like, what's with that whole Dagburn crew? How can you not see the evil in that man? I mean, that's the thing, because he will treat those guys good, you know what I mean? As long as they're on his side, but they can't see how gross and disgusting he is inside, because, well, look at Wade and look at Sieper, and like everybody wanted him to have touched that child. That's kind of disgusting. I hope you're doing all right too, Daddy. I'm just doing my regular thing that I don't like to do, but Roger's making it a little bit easier. He's giving me stuff to talk about, so. The whole YouTube thing, I don't get. Have you seen Rocco, Roger? You seen Rocco? Do you know who he is? He's big time hurting. Here's the thing. We don't ever know what's true, you know what I mean? But for me, I need some proof. And when you put Rocco into a corner and you ask him to back up what he says, he can't do it. So that makes him a liar. And he does it all the time. He runs when... But yeah, people still pay attention to him and they try and fuck with him instead of just saying, you need help, bud. Because what if... Yeah, there's a lot of people that need to spend some time offline. Hey, Towdy, I got my laptop, bud. Look. I just got to figure out how to use her, bud. Got to figure out that StreamYard thing. Yeah, well, nobody needs to get justice on Johnny. Because I think if people would have just did what Gotcha Man does and just made fun of his stupidity and his lies, Johnny would have been gone a long time ago. Johnny would have been gone, Johnny is worried about this Jacob guy. You can see it. He's all over the internet. That Jacob does know shit about him. And the way he treated that Jacob guy on that call, I was like, oh man. I was like, that's not the way I would approach somebody. I would just say, hey, these knotheads want to know the truth. Just, if you want to tell them, tell them. If not, instead, he's got to make a big production out of it and record the kid and try and make sure he gets him to say he didn't do it. That's kind of worrisome that he didn't get his dad to say that, though, eh? Especially when he did have so many stories. That's the thing, when you believe this guy. Noel Rocco, yeah, I'm worried that when he finds out there's a God and he realizes the games he's playing, I'm really worried about his mental. I'm worried about a lot of people. Like little me. And I think when we find out whatever we find out, I think it's going to be known that we have to stay away from people that, well, quite sure don't benefit us. Always try and help those who want to be helped, but those who don't really want to be helped, and they only hinder you, that maybe you need to stay away from them. And I think little me's and Wade and all these people are getting exposed as, hey, buddy. I might come back later. Well, that's why he's bugging me. It's dinner time. Well, what was said there, Dowdy? Oh, Dowdy, you can see, like, little me can say whatever he wants about saying what I say about my kids. But I'm only telling the truth. Hey, how would you feel in this scenario, little me, if they stole everything that you ever had? Or they said this to you, or this was like, I'm not telling on my kids the bad things they do in their life. I'm saying, hey, this is what they do. Is it right? Should I accept it? But Johnny Dagburn there, he fucking persecuted his son for a thought. Like, if you go through the whole thing, it was a thought where he could have been a man and sat his child down and said, hey, that's a bad thought. Don't have those thoughts anymore. Those are horrible thoughts. Instead, he went around and told everybody about something that he never did. It was thoughts. Something they said, and he wants to persecute him for it. Instead of announcing it on the internet rather than... And then to not get a hold of the mother neither and say anything, I thought that was kind of dirty, but... Well, little me isn't angry. If you don't bow down to little me, you're gonna be in trouble. That's the thing. In Wade, he just don't care. He'll lie his way out of anything. I'll prove to you Wade's a liar. That guy will not face it. He actually made an apology though. Wrote a community post and tagged me to it. Apologizing that he got some misinformation. But I know he didn't get misinformation. He made shit up in his fucking head and told everybody. And you can't just admit it. It's like, dude, just admit it. It's easier that way. It's better that way. It's kind of a repenting, you know what I mean? That's the thing. Hey, good shot, Roger. But anyways, Dowdy, I'm going to go feed this dog because he's starting to scratch me all up, jumping all over me. Fat boy wants to eat, eh? Hey, fat boy, tell Dowdy you want to eat. Hey, tell Dowdy you want to eat. Look at that fat boy, eh? All right, see ya, everybody.